Rebel with a cause. BK all day, baby. It's rebel season. The real rebels are back. I got the mind of a king. You should really protect them. Everybody talking, but rebel really the next. I got the mind of a king. Spread to never take this. Slavery, fake hip hop, you dead if you were racist. I got the mind of a king. You could never replace this. Blood from the mud, no love, so I'ma say I got the mind of a king. I know where I am from now. I'ma wake 'em up, you keep 'em sleep, it's up to me. I got the mind of a king. Peace, 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 peace. Welcome to Rebels Round.
Brother man.
I'm your host, Rebel with a Cause.
KENWARDO I kill.
And this is Rebels Roundtable.
That was the brother Poetix earlier this week, you know what I mean? That was the brother Nikos, man. I met him, talked to the brothers earlier this week. You know, man, they got me, we politic, you know what I mean? And they want to talk about, you know, the power of building in the Black community, man. Building power in our community. What's the purpose? But first, before we start, I just want the brothers, you know what I'm saying, give a brief description of themselves, you know what I'm saying, and what they're about. Just a little mini bio, you know. We start off with the brother Poetix.
No doubt. Poetix. We come on this platform right now, and I appreciate y'all having us on here. We representing the Royal Black Guard. I myself, I'm a spoken word artist, a community activist, a brother, a visionary. I'm here for the mission, and I believe that everyone here knows what the mission is, to build for ourselves. And tonight we're gonna get into exactly what that means, what that looks like. But I don't, not to go too long-winded. I know we're gonna be here having this conversation, so pass it over to my brother Nikos.
Peace, power, brothers. We go by Nikos, most concerned. As the brother mentioned before, we build a power in the community, specifically the Black community. Other than that, all around good guy, representing, all the Black fathers out there, representing all the people who care about their family, care about their descendants, and got love for their ancestors, man, and is willing to do what it takes to ensure that there's a future for our children out here. That's who I am. You know what I mean? Like my brother said, we represent the Royal Black Guard. We're a community defense organization formed to safeguard the community from all acts of terrorism and aggression. And that's what we do.
That's what I want y'all to do. That we can start right there. Break down, what is it? The Black Royal Guard?
The Royal Black Guard.
The Royal Black Guard. Break that down.
That's red, black, and green, right?
The Royal Black
Guard.
Red, black, and green.
That's hard. Break that down. How long it's been in the world or the mind, and just break it down for us. Explain it. Let us know what that is.
I'll take it. So the Royal Black Guard, like I said before, we're a community defense organization formed to safeguard our people from all acts of terrorism and aggression. And we're all familiar with the threats that have been made against the Black community. I mean, active threats every single day, not just physical threats, psychological threats, threats to the food, the water, the entertainment even. So, we're formed as a community defense organization first, but we do believe in building alternative institutions for our people that are run by the community, for the community. If you want to build power, one of the first things you got to do is eliminate false dependency. So that's one of the things that we represent. We're eliminating the false dependency that we have on the police in the community. How are we going to say that the police are not for our people, but yet we rely on the police to protect our people? We depend on the police. Let's just say it was a natural disaster tomorrow. Who do you think is going to be knocking on Black people's doors, making sure the Black mamas are safe, Black grandmas are safe? It ain't going to be the police. You know what I mean? It might be some brothers like us that's sitting on this call right now. But that's who we're trying to organize. We want to organize brothers that's ready to act and ready to defend our people at a moment's notice.
No doubt. I'll say this. RBG, the red, black, and the green, that was introduced to us by the Honorable Marcus Garvey. And Marcus Garvey had an idea, he had a dream, he had a vision for a united Black people. It wasn't about one specific area, one specific demographic, it was about the united people. And so here we are today in 2022, the Royal Black Guard is here to protect that. protect that idea, protect what it is, protect that actuality. What it looks like is being in the community, being able to identify the threats, both external, both under our control and not under our control. More so than anything, I believe that the people and the resources that are here, that are around us, that would be able to create what we would call a nation, they exist. They just haven't been able to come together yet, because there's a lot of people who don't understand or don't know that there are men like us who exist. And so Royal Black Guard is that thing. We need the people to know that people are willing to put their lives on the line to protect them. Their lives are valuable, the community is invaluable. And so every single time you see the red beret, you just know it's being held and being worn by a man who knows that the value is in our community.
That's powerful. Who started the Royal Black Guard?
We started the Royal Black Guard. Yeah, we don't have a traditional leadership structure. Man, our leadership structure is unique, but we have a number of founding members. We all share the responsibility of leading the organization. There is no one leader. There is no one founder. There's nobody that we're gonna put on a pedestal in that kind of way. It really is not even about us. It's about the mission. It's about the work.
Powerful. Powerful.
Who created the fate did, destiny did, situation at hand, the circumstances that's what created it. We're merely just operating out of our divine right.
That's a fact.
Right.
Y'all
was formerly with the gun club, right?
Yeah.
Say again?
Y'all was formerly the Atlanta Gun Club, right?
We don't have any affiliation with any type of with any other group, organization. You may see familiar faces, but what you see are just men who have always believed that their community needed to be protected. And so all past affiliations have no correlation to RBG, Royal Black Guard.
See, one of the things that makes our organization different than a lot of the popular organizations, like you just mentioned, one of the gun clubs, which we have, utmost respect for anybody who's willing to take the risk and do the work. We're not a gun club. We're not a social group. It's not a fraternity, so to speak, even though we do consider ourselves to be a brotherhood. We are an organization that's mission first. We're an organization that loves our people, but we believe love is action. So, we're not the type of organization that has meetings just to have meetings. Not the type of organization that does a lot of rah-rah in the streets. You're not going to see us on the news trying to get a microphone or a camera in our face. That's not our style. That's not how we roll.
Right.
But if you do happen to find yourself in the community, in the West End community, let's just say, in Atlanta, Georgia, the people do know our faces. That the people who matter the most do know our faces. And we're working to expand that power. We're working to grow that influence. We want our face card to be good all over the country. We want people to see our face and know what it means. We want to represent freedom, peace, and power, to our people. And that's the grind. It's a long-term vision. This ain't no short stop. This ain't no sprint. It's a marathon.
Nice, nice. How does one join the team? What do you gotta do to join that team?
Well, there is a recruiting process. Once you express interest, then brother me or one of the other brothers will reach out to you, and they'll go a little bit further into the process of going through orientation and going through probationary period and training. And then once that has its own progress.
Anybody who's interested in the organization can check out the website, royalblackguard.org. Membership process is posted there. And if you just want to check us out on Instagram, the website's there as well. It's at the Royal Black Guard. Anybody who's interested in joining the organization, check us out online. It's very clearly stated what's required of you, and you see what we're about.
That's powerful. How many members you guys? How many members so far?
Right now, we're not at liberty to discuss the amount of people that's part of the organization. Once you go through the orientation process and training, those things will be revealed.
Nice. Nice. And y'all primarily in the West End?
Primarily in the city of Atlanta. You know, so you know, the West End is where we call the West End home. You know,
Right.
we have specific relationships in the West End. And you know, we've done some specific work there. But we don't intend to be a local organization. We intend to serve our people and meet their needs where they are. And right now, you know, where the organization has its most I guess passionate base of people who we serve, the West End would represent that for sure. But you know, we aim to grow our influence and meet the needs of our people everywhere. You know, especially when you're talking about meeting the needs, I definitely want to highlight that because people think about power as having something to do with a gun. You know, guns are tools like a hammer. Hammer's a tool. You know, in the hands of a master craftsman, you could build a whole mansion with a hammer and some nails and some wood. I know my brother Black Power Banging knows something about that because I know you get busy with your hands and you build. So you know, I know you know something about that, brother. But you know, in the hands of a fool, what is a hammer? Nothing. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, power really is about meeting the needs of the people. People understand government. You know, government really derives its power from the submission of the people, right? From the consent of the government, right? People say we're gonna trust the government to meet our needs, and therefore we give over that power to the government. So if you want to disrupt that power, you know, one of the most important things that you can do for your people is to meet their urgent needs. You eliminate that false dependency, right? You slowly presenting an alternative power structure for your people to rely on and depend on and trust in, right? A power structure that's run for the people, by the people. And then what you really start to see is power being built from the grassroots, institutional power, not individualistic power, right? So individualistic power says that I can liberate myself if I get enough money. If me and my family get enough paper together, then we can get out the hood. That's individualism. And that's something that they taught us to think. Right. So the communalism, which is what we believe in, what we talk about, is that if we meet the needs of the people will meet our needs and the community will grow stronger together, right? So we build institutional power. Institutional power means that whatever you depend on the government for, whether that be your food, water, really you can look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs and you could just start at the bottom and boom, 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 boom. That's the program, right? Because if you meet the urgent needs of people, survival, shelter, food, water, then now the people have a means to liberate themselves because they're not focused on survival. You know, they can focus on things of, you know, higher mind. That's the program. You know, when you talk about building power, it's not about walking around with guns and hollering about Black power. It's about acting that, living that, and showing that love and building that from the grassroots.
Staying on that topic of power, there's a power shows up in a lot of different ways, and we have a lot of different definitions. One of the definitions that I've heard is the ability to administer consequences. Another idea of power is the ability to control resources. There is a divine power that's in us that we must tap into. It comes with the divine right. It comes with the knowing who we are. It comes with the identity that's kind of been stripped from us. And we address it in a lot of physical ways when we talk about what we're going to do in the community. We talk about what needs to be done. We talk about protecting, defending, things like that. But there's an internal power that we must tap into in order to bring all of these things into fruition. And as a member of RBG, I feel like we have to be that representation, that representation of an internal power, the willingness to stand up against the things that are hurting our community for a long time. And I know we all heard the saying, people go along to get along. Well, that's because they haven't tapped into that inner power, that power to say no, to stand on the line and not be moved. That takes an inner power. You know what I mean? And that right there, again, when you stand united with the brothers and sisters that we stand with, being part of RBG, that's a power that only grows and multiplies with every member. And when other people see us at the festivals, when they see us doing patrols, when they see us in the streets, boots on the ground, they feel that power being awakened. They feel that. They tap into it because they know we tapped into it. You know, one of the biggest things is police enforcement, police and law enforcement.
Right.
It's like we feel so vulnerable. That is why they have carried on for this long, what they've done. Police and law enforcement started with slave patrol. there's an origin in that. There's an energy in that. It's still that exists today. Nothing changes. It's shaped and formed. So when you have a group of men who are able to stand up against that energy, that reverberates through time. And I pray that there was men like that would have been able to stand up in the days of our ancestors. But there wasn't. They didn't come about. But now we're here. And so we represent that power to stand up against all of the wrong that's been done to us in our community. And so right now it's just about representing that. And I'm not gonna mislead. This is grassroots. This is boots on the ground. This is the beginning. Yeah, we based out of the heart of Atlanta, and it's gonna grow outward and expand and spread. That's fine. That's great. That's what's gonna happen. But it has to start right there. It has to start in the core, because they got to see that power come from the inside. You can't have people coming from the outside telling our people what they're gonna do for us and what we need to do, and having every single conversation that's not being had inside. So we got to represent that power inside, which will show itself as these conversations, these institutions being built for ourselves, these resources being spread. That's going to be us. That's our power.
Let me ask you a question. In the West End, are there any gangs in the West End?
Absolutely.
Like, how many different gangs would be considered to be within the West End area, or the area that you patrol?
I'll say this, and I'll speak for me, myself, and I'm nothing that I'm trying to hide, and along with my brother Nikos. I'm not originally from Atlanta, right? So I just want to put that preface out, where we have members who are originally from Atlanta. And the reason why I bring that up is because we know that the popular gangs, at least I know the popular gangs. I know the ones that I know about. You know what I'm saying?
That's all that matters, is whatever you know about.
Right.
Because those are the ones that's making themselves known.
Right. So we know the gangs in there, and a lot of the times these gang affiliations, they create their own brotherhood, but it's brotherhoods that can be pierced by this RBG energy, this Royal Black God.
Understandable. But so, if you was to give a number of how many gangs there are, would you say 1, 2, 3, 4?
Let me answer that. I don't want to misrepresent the number of organizations, street organizations that are active in the West End community, because any number that I put on it that could be inaccurate would be a misrepresentation of truth.
No, it's not what is exact. Whatever, I'm talking about only the ones you know about.
A variety. I would say there are at least a number of different sets of gangs that operate in the West End community. I would say at least, you're talking about a variety, man. More than 4.
Okay, more than 4. That's reasonable. Because if it was like 2, that'd be kind of hard. But with more than 4, easy. Personally, I believe Crips and Bloods should die and be wiped off the face of the planet. Crips and Bloods ain't shit but a black eye to black history. I just want to slip double, like Power Bangin said it. I want them to know I don't care about none of the street organizations that's not for Black power. All of them are enemies. So if they not for it, they're against it, and we have to find ways to overthrow them. And it's not working side by side them, overthrow them, and they have to be dominated. Because when we start looking at empires, and empires that grows, empires don't go and cozy up with the next person that's opposite of what they are. So the thing is, in order to really grow and to really dominate and to push RBG, that's one thing we have to figure out. Because we could go to Europe and look at France. Napoleon wasn't running around Europe thinking about hugging. Or we could go to Genghis Khan. It wasn't like, well, let's work together. No, he conquered. Empires are made from conquering those around you. So unless we put something together like that, I don't think we're serious.
If you allow me, Nico, if you allow me to
let's turn it up.
To kind of like address that, right?
Yes,
there's
sir.
a difference, and I'll be frank, there's a difference between our presence here in the United States in any type of empire, from Genghis Khan and Mongolian or to the Europe. So it is a different makeup. The second thing I'll address is we cannot forget that these are still our brothers and sisters. The third thing is that anything that you see in the Black community is a direct correlation to the environment that we were brought up in. The original Crips and Bloods started off as protection. They started off as community built organizations to protect the people from what we are, protecting them from law enforcement and police brutality. That's the origin of it. Now, the introduction of drugs, greed, money, violence, things like that has definitely turned them for the worse. But as we've seen with Brother Malcolm X, and we've seen with other brothers, there comes a time of maturity. There comes a time where you have to be educated. Because although we would love for people to come out into this world and know the difference between right and wrong and good and bad, the solid truth of the matter is, in our communities, those lines get blurred every single day. From how we treat each other to how we treat ourselves, those lines get blurred. So what we must do is not to dominate them or to wipe them off the face of the earth because they are our brothers and sisters. What we must do is reach out the hands for the ones who have a hand to reach out to and educate them and put them on, because we didn't wake up knowing our history. Not anyone on this screen woke up and just knew what had happened. We had all been going through a process of programming. We have all been going through a process of assimilation into Western culture, which came with a set of lies, a set of laws, a set of hypocrisies, a set of everything that we've all had to manage through. We all found our way to our knowledge and our understanding and our identity. And it is our responsibility in that very energy and in that very spirit to go find the brothers who are looking and searching. Now, we're not going to get all of them, but that comes with maturity from us. We have to be able to know who is worth going and getting and who has to be left behind. That's our maturity. And as divine individuals, we have to be able to make that choice. But at no point in time will I agree with going ahead and wiping off brothers and sisters that would fight for their people if educated properly. Because a lot of them, and I've talked to them, me and Nikos spend a lot of time on the ground. I'm a spoken word poet, and I'm a street poet at the core. So I talk to them on the street, and I asked them, yo, would you fight for this block? If this meant all Black people could have a place to live, would you fight for this block? I've asked them questions, and although they get a bad rap, these young kids, they're not dumb. They 15, 16 years old sleeping on the subway with a stomach growling. And somebody said, yo, I'll sell this right here and you'll get a couple bucks. What did he say? He didn't say, no, I'm good. I'm going to just sleep on this train with no place to lead him. No, he took the opportunity. Those lines of right and wrong got blurred real quick. But the idea is, it's only because of the circumstances that we come up with. You go to any other demographic, any ethnicity, the Irish, the Italians, the Jewish, the Haitians. Everyone has their class of under belly works. There's always drug dealers. There's always going to be those things. These are not issues that are exclusive to Black people. These are things that happen by humanity. So I wouldn't write these people off because they fell down and they haven't gotten back up.
So everybody, pretty much, a lot of people know my story. Slipped up, Lil Slip, City of Compton, Temple Ave, original Tony Gangster, Southside Compton Crip. For me coming from Southside Compton Crip, when Tupac got killed, my house was one of the ones that got raided. Baby Lane, BG Lane, my big homie, Keithy D, Freaky Dre, I know all of them. Like, you feel me? I'm talking about, I had to take off my hat when the mob Rules was coming through shooting at the homies, and the homies going back shooting at them. You feel me? And coming from Los Angeles, my mama was a Crip. My uncles were OG Compton Crips. My mama still live in Compton. You know what I mean? I'm talking about, I was born and raised on the Alondra. If you listen to Compton TG and TZ and all of them right now, when you hear Crip Street, they talk about Alondra. I was raised on that street. It still got to die. Mm-hmm. There is no, I don't care how it was started.
Right.
If I had cancer in my arm and I was born with it, and I know how good this arm has been to me, if it's cancer in it, we have to cut it out.
No,
Now,
no
but
doubt.
this is the thing.
The culture.
The thing is, the weapons that we use don't necessarily mean that we have to do it as Europeans do it. We have to do it as Africans do it. And if we don't first have an African mind and understand that wiping them out is first knowledge of self. I had to kill the Crip within me in order to make for the African to live. So I had to wipe it out within self. But I'm still here. So if we think that, then that just let us know that we still in the European mindset. You know what I mean? But there's no way it could live side by side RBG. It can't.
Well,
so I would say that the genocidal culture, the culture of gang banging, has to die. Where it came from, what that is, but that's not the root of it. Is what I would express. And then another thing I would say, and I can only assume your age, brother. Are you in your 30s, 40s? 40s. You look good for 40, brother. But what I would press upon is that was an era that you lived through. That was a crack era. Those are extreme circumstances. That is extreme. Ain't no other group of people have ever been introduced to that type of environment than us. And what did it bring about? The destroy and decay of our people. And so what you are feeding off of is the result of, again, the circumstance that we was presented to by someone outside of our culture and community. So I'm all for killing the culture of, drug slinging, killing each other. That's a culture. That's a mindset. Yeah, that's mindset.
Drug slinging come later. We talking about cripping and blood. We got to give it the names so we know exactly what we aimed at. And we in gang banging is we are gang banging. But in you saying a particular culture, okay, my little homies, I was all right. Baby Lane was a baby gangster. I'm an original tiny gangster. My little homies is tiny gangsters. Their little homies is original tiny Souths, and their little homies is tiny South. The tiny Souths. So my little homies is out there killing shit right now and getting killed. My little homies, I lost more little homies. My little homies. Right. Then I remember being big homies dying. So they out there killing right now. As a matter of fact, just a couple of days ago, they got two cats from Santana Block Crip that just got killed at a baseball game or a football game that they had. So it's still full fledged out there on the West Coast. But so the thing is this, that those from the Vice Lords, GD, well, I can't say the Vice Lords are pushing and making grounds and bringing a lot of African culture from the Vice Lords I've seen down here.
Vice Lords come from the 60s. They are always had Black Stones, Vice Lords. They are anything under the 5-point star. I always had like Black Power culture. Like it didn't start off as gangs in the 60s. Yeah, my father was a Vice Lord. They didn't call themselves no gangs. They was organizations. You know what I mean? And to tell you the truth, gang banging come way before the crack era in Chicago. Yeah. The crack era just made it
even it come before the crack era in Los Angeles. But I can't really speak on Vice Lords and GDs.
It's just different names. I know I'm not the same.
I wasn't born. I heard the story of the first. There was a documentary I was watching. It was the story of the first time that there was actually like a murder between the Bloods and Crips. Like one of the there was a Crip who murdered another Blood or something like that on the West Coast, and that was like the apex, or that started the actual violence. Before that, it was like people used to get jumped, you get beat up, maybe, you know what I'm saying, like beat up real bad, but the actual murder.
That's because the Crips the Crips comes up under like you have businessmen, you have gladiators, you have Avenue Crips. Like the older men had gangs, but the gangs that the older men came up that was before, like Tookie and them, they was a result of protecting the community from gangs like the Spook Hunters, white boys who used to get together, go through the Black community and beat up brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? But the thing is that, see, my whole mindset is fight a war for Black against Black to get Black back Black. So if we don't understand that we have to create strategies to encompass us and get us going in the same direction, and if we don't create strategies against self, it'll never work, even if it was business.
Could I comment on that for a second, man? Because I respect that perspective, and I definitely respect the diversity of strategies that need to be developed for us to make it forward where we're trying to go. But brother, I don't think everybody is going to make it. But I don't think that we need a strategy to get everybody on the same page. I think that's going to be a mission and futility. So the way that I would respond to your question, because being from the community like I am, I'm not going to speak on no organization that I'm not of or I'm not a part of. And I'm not going to misrepresent myself in that way. But I would ask you, brother, what, as a member or a former member of a street organization, what would you say is the key difference between the brother you were then and the brother you are now?
I hated my people. I mean, so like, I give you an example. Me and the homies hanging out in the park, and a car pulled up. We all was ready to engage that car, but once we seen it wasn't black, everybody relaxed and turned around. That was a problem. We was. If you was walking down the street, and I can't even tell you the differences of the older homies versus us. If you was walking down the street with a backpack on and you was a schoolboy, they let you go. But by the time our era came in, you still got beat up because you was from the hood. So we became so destructive, and Crippin' Blood is so destructive that it cannot be saved. It just we have to figure a way to not let it breathe in Atlanta.
I'm asking about you though, brother.
That's what I'm saying.
Organization. What changed for you? What? Because obviously you made it to the other side, and what I'm trying to get at is
I started in Compton with blue and red chucks. I started gang banging on my people. I started gang banging in the hood. I didn't understand why we fighting with the Palmer Block Crips. They told me, oh, they'll kill you, this and that. I ended up living in Palmer, and then I lived in Palmer. My house never been shot up. And I didn't understand that. The homies never put money together to get me up out of Palmer. Here I am, one of the main little homies from the hood, but they didn't put money together to get me up out the so-called enemy neighborhood. They left me there. So by me being here, I had to learn how to fight different. I had a 38 on my waist taking the trash out, but I realized I didn't have enough bullets in this 38 to go and take this hood because I knew I would have to take it. And there was no way I could lay one of them down in front of my mama's house, living on Brazil in 900 Block Palmer. And then even if I go to jail or if I die out there, that they'll still be able to live there in peace. So I had to create strategies to where that they'll still be able to survive. You feel me? And that's where Black Power Banging was forming. Blue and red chucks, blue and red rags, and just been, death is not a consequence. It's a reward. Those that are scared of death are scared of war. So I embraced death. And I went out there and just started jumping out and I just tried to figure it out. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have the information I have now. You know what I mean? I just started studying and started learning about COINTELPRO. I'm talking about I was coming out of ignorance. And the only thing I knew how to do was gangbang. So, but I used gangbanging, and then that translated into something different from my so-called enemies, seeing me coming over here, jumping out in their hood with no pistol, with no homies, and couldn't understand it. But I see what you're trying to do. You know what I mean? I remember Ludus Park Pyru said, Blood, you might be the one to change this. I'm like, I can't change this. In my head, I'm like, I can't change. We got to change this. You know what I mean? I'm surrounded by like 15, 20 Pyrus. You dig? So this was a whole progression. And for me looking back now, there is no way that the old me could survive with the new me. They constantly at odds.
Well, look, brother, I respect that. I respect that tremendously, so much so that I'm not going to go back and forth with you about whether or not street gangs need to be annihilated. That's not an opinion that I can say that I share. But I'm not that either. Yeah, I'm not going to go back and forth with you about it because I came at your perspective. I came at your experience. You got that. So, but what I will say is this: is that you're right. Those are insurmountable odds. I do not think that everybody's going to make it, but that's the project that we have established. We are up against the odds. And one of those odds that we're up against is how many Black lives can we save? How many young Black brothers can we liberate and bring to the other side? Very clearly, you've made it to the other side, brother, and I salute you for that because those are insurmountable odds. But if we can save one brother, two brothers, three brothers in the city of Atlanta, save their lives, what does that represent? That's not just three brothers, that's three brothers and their children. Three brothers, their children, and their children's children, and their children's children. That's an entire lineage of people. Those are millions of brothers.
Right.
So, saving one, two, or three, if we can make that happen in the city of Atlanta, I feel like that my life is worth it. So, I'm not going to go back and forth to you about whether or not, but I can't say, and the brothers that I organize with can't say that we're going to war with brothers who happen to be misled.
You at war with them now, whether you want to accept it or not.
Well, that's fine.
This what I mean. Let me speak. Let me say something. By saying you know what I'm saying, they should be annihilated. Are you talking about the mindset? Because if you say something like that, then I was a youngster out there. That mean I should have been annihilated? I made mistakes.
I answered that question
doing what
earlier,
everybody in my neighborhood was doing. I ain't no better when I was 13, 14, 15 years old. I was out there gang banging, dope dealing, because everybody in my neighborhood was doing the same shit I was doing.
I answered that question.
Norm.
We going around in circles. I said,
are you saying the mindset should be annihilated? I don't agree with saying, man, gang banging, all them kids should be annihilated. Yeah, motherfucking nah.
I mentioned that earlier. I said, if we think like the European, if you think,
okay, you say, okay, I got you.
But at the same time, that is not off the table. The way you thinking now, it is not off the table. Because, all right, let's go to the history of the United States of America. You had the Confederates and you had the Union. When what happened, the United States, in the southern portion, start to gain too much money and too much power. So the power was going to shift from the north to the south. They could not have that. Now, and what they do, they didn't go to war to free the slaves. They went to war to maintain power in the way that they should do it. And then what they do, did they free us? No, what they did was they came up with the IRS around the same time and they shifted the way that they did slavery. So the thing is this, you can't say that brothers should join us and stay a part of what they're doing. If they join us, then that means that they're opposite of what they do.
Stay a part of what they do.
Check it out though. But see, this is what we are doing, what we exist to do. Like that, we're creating a process of maturity, right? So you can't just sign up on the dotted line and join our organization. Process involved, there's mentorship involved. What we seek to do is to fill the power vacuum in the Black home, in the Black community, where the big bros used to be, where the OGs used to be. And we stand in that gap for the brother. So now, a brother coming into our organization, he should be radically transformed from the inside out based on the brotherhood he's coming into. He should turn away from that. And if we haven't created the kind of process that will make a brother turn away from that, we haven't done our job. So like, first and foremost, we talk about joining an organization. We're talking about mentorship. We're talking about replacing the absence of the Black male leader in the home, in the community, on the corner, in the barbershop. We trying to have the conversations that brothers need to be having so that they can go home and have something to think about when they're twisting up that backwood, and they're not just caught up in the bullshit. And I feel like part of what we're doing is not just going to war in a physical manner, but going to war in a deep manner, in an emotional manner, a mental level. We're trying to heal traumas the young brothers have grown up to embrace. We've embraced the traumas that we have been forced to endure. And because we embrace those traumas, then you see that bleed out everywhere in our actions and our behavior and our language and the way we talk to each other. We call each other nigga. Why is that? That's a bleeding out of a trauma that our ancestors ate. So I'm saying, what kind of process can we synthesize, if it's possible, so that we can get 3 or 4 brothers just like you, who used to be heartless, who used to be cold, who used to hate their people, and we can bring them into the light? What kind of process can we create that'll bring our brother from darkness into light? And if we can't do that, then so be it. We making the attempt.
So we're all RBG, right? Now, for everybody on the panel, can y'all name one street in the United States of America where there's 10 houses with 10 RBG flags lined up, or at least a street with more than 10 flags on one street hanging outside the house? Have y'all seen that?
I have been hard pressed to find that many people that have been passionate about their culture, their heritage, and their history. But what I'll also say is that we do, and we have to realize that we live in the United States. There is a process of menticide that has been inflicted upon our people. And that process has destroyed not only our mindset, it destroyed our own value system. It has destroyed our culture, our lineage, our heritage, everything. Anything that you would have valued about yourself has never been reinforced in any type of education. And the only thing that is reinforced is the same narrative of gangbanging culture or killing each other or drug use. That's what you see every single day. I see it when I turn on the TV. Matter of fact, if you go on with who.
So would you consider that warfare?
Hold on. This is beyond warfare. We all on the battlefield. This is on the battlefield. But what I'm saying is,
okay,
my point and my finger isn't at us. because for the love of my people, I understand what we are going through. And so for the people who do choose to use drugs and to do violence and things like that, I understand that they are still a victim of their own destruction. They're the victim of the situation and the circumstance of being in the United States. Ain't nothing about the United States has ever been built to empower us or uplift us or to bring us back to our glory. So what has it been trying to do? Destroy us from the inside out. So when I see a brother that is representing this type of culture, I look at him not with anger and frustration. I look at him just like he was an uneducated person. And if if he was once uneducated, then he can be educated. Like my brother KENWARDO said, he said he was out there 14, 15, you know what I'm saying, acting wild, acting crazy. I know I got youngins that, you know, but the thing is, though, is there going to be somebody that is going to stand up and then educate them? Because the only reason why, and you might be able to speak on this a little bit better, you know what I'm saying, because of your background in history. But I'm very familiar with a lot of gangbangers on my side of the family. I just never chose that life. I have close friends that bang to this day. But the thing is, though, I understand that what they were looking for when they started banging. What they were looking for was a brotherhood, a protection, something that while they was on the street, they felt vulnerable. So what did they go and do? They found the brotherhood that was going to protect you, whether it be your block or whether it be your building, whether it be anything like that. So if that's what they was looking for and what they found was a destructive version of it, then it's our job to present an atmosphere where it can be constructive. Give them that brotherhood, give them that education, like my brother Nikos was saying, be the OG that they really needed in their life. And so it's my thing, again, I'm not addressing it as, you know, gang banging as a whole or Bloods and Crips as a whole or just, you know, deviant behavior as a whole. I'm looking at the individual that I can get. Because if you're an individual that I can't get, then I have to understand that I can't get you. And now I got to move on to the person that is receptive to this message, to the person that do see the power and the glory in our culture. And when I say these words like power and glory in our culture, I don't say it for filler. This is real life stuff. You speak this stuff into the world. The universe hear you. More of the reason why we can't find 10 houses on the block with RBG flags is because not enough people saying that. Everybody keep on saying, yo, you know what's wrong with black people? Yo, you know what black people got to do? Man, black people keep doing this. Oh, black people doing that. Nah, that's the energy you keep reverberating in this culture, in this environment. More people got to be like, yo, black people, great. Black people, nah, you know what? I love black people. Yo, but that black-owned restaurant, the service wasn't good. So what? So what? It'll get better. Leave a friendly tip. Let them know, like, yo, this is how it could be better, and still show love. Not because it benefited you, not because it was convenient for you, but because out of the love of our people, that's how we speak into the universe. That's what we giving out to the ethers. And that's a real life thing. And if there's ever going to be any type of revolution, it's going to come from the spirit first. I put that on
what you're saying. As two groups, I could pick out the United States that still, the white supremacists still fight them, Mexicans and the Jewish folks. Those two groups, the white supremacists still fight them and don't really like them. They'll deal with them. But you could right here in Atlanta. I went there because I had to go fix they had an exhaust fan that was out. When I got to the gate, I had to get buzzed in.
I said, you mean everybody? You mean everybody?
Hold up. Powerful. Yo, D, say that shit again, yo.
And I was just saying for us speaking on
and y'all two come after that.
I was speaking on us as a people, and everybody not gonna be saved. Everybody not gonna believe what we believe. You know what I'm saying? In that sense and that mindset and how we have been programmed since birth. And a lot of us have to break it. You know what I'm saying? When I grew up in the hood, all I knew was Christianity and Islam. You know, we had some Baptists and some whatever them people is who I forgot the name of them, but yeah, a lot of us is programmed. And we got to break that program. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much it. And I was speaking on also about melanin. You know, as I'm starting to study the science of melanin and the power that it has and the importance that it has and how it is a high grade of life. It's the highest grade of life there is on this planet. And I think every black man should know that. Then we'll stop killing each other. We knew how important we are scientifically right now, even with GMOs in our body, even with bad nutrition, we're still top and we still important. That's what I was speaking about as well. And I was also saying, speaking on camaraderie, how there are a lot of brothers in the Nation of Islam who don't want to be in the Nation of Islam, but they go because of the camaraderie and the brotherhood and how they have a sense of protection, knowing that their brother will be there for them if they call of them and things of that nature. Some of us are alpha males, some of us are alpha males, and some of us are beta males. There's nothing wrong with that. A lot of us on this panel might have a fire spirit or a flame spirit, considering your sign and things of that nature. If you have not recreated yourself, some of those things are still there for us, you being a fiery person and a leader. And a lot of us, and some of us who are in leadership position sometimes bump heads. But the one thing I do love, if I bump head with Poetix, he gonna call and be like, look, good brother, man, I ain't like that. And I'm gonna receive that. Same thing with KENWARDO. He like, man, hold back knowledge, man. This ain't what we gonna do. Even if Rebel called me, but this how we should be, you know what I'm saying, as a brothers and a brotherhood. To sum it all up, a lot of us not gonna make it. A lot of us program. We have to continue to do what we have to do, and that's it. I posted a post one time on Instagram. I said, I'm through trying to help the sheep. I'm looking for other lions. And I say that because a lot of the sheep will keep the matrix going because they love the matrix. Don't forget the guy in the matrix, he's eating steak. He took the right pill, but he regretted it, but because he wanted to be in the, you know what I'm saying? He wanted to be in the blind. Some of us gonna be like that. That's cool. We at war, it's a fight. We all know that. Knowledge is power. We got to keep doing what we doing individually, and I just want to say, to the brothers on this panel, man, I know y'all guys are important, or you wouldn't be doing what you're doing as brothers on this panel.
Good looking out. That was powerful. Nico, Black Power Banger, I got it. My bad.
The brother Nikos say he had to go, so man, before you get up out of here, man.
Oh man, I thought he left.
No,
I'm right here, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate
gonna
that.
leave in a few minutes, so man, brother,
Go ahead.
you got to say, man.
Yeah, for sure. Just speaking on power, man, and just respect all the brothers on the call, man. Black Power Banger, man. I'm familiar with your work, man, and the message that you preach and what you represent, and I respect that. We may have different agendas on this path, and that's admirable, man. We ought to have a diversity of tactics in this struggle. But I will say this: you speak about empire. We ought to study empire. The Empire of Rome was not founded based on conquest. 100 families on Aventine Hill, little less than 100 acres in Italy. And that's the beginning of Rome. 100 families on a little less than 100 acres. You have to understand that from nothing, they built what they built. There's human effort. Melanated people have more than human effort on our side. We are capable of building empire, but I don't believe that we start our empire or our nation or our quest for liberation or whatever you want to call that. I don't think we begin with conquest or conquering. I don't think we begin with emulating the tools and the methods of our oppressor. I think we begin just like you will begin fighting a fire. You don't fight a fire with fire, you fight it with water. If you find yourself in a military situation, war strategy, and you're being outgunned and you're outnumbered and you're pinned down, you don't fight bullets with bullets. You call it an airstrike, don't you? I would say the intelligent way to approach the problem would be to, find a way to synthesize the kind of experience that you might have gone through that caused you to come to the other side and try to bring these brothers along for a journey from darkness into light. We might only make a few, and that's fine. Everybody can't come, and I don't believe that we should try to get everybody to come. I think that's an error. But respect everybody on the call, man. I think this is a powerful conversation that we ought to keep having. I think that every brother on this call is powerful and ought to exercise that power. And that's the most important part. Exercise your power, black man. That's it.
No doubt. Powerful. This only part one. We'd love if you brothers come back, weekly, monthly, and, update us and let us know what y'all doing, how we can support anything y'all down with, and just let us know.
Man, we can't let Poetix get up out of here without throwing no lyrics, man. Lyrics, man. We got Poetix on the show, man.
We got a show coming up on the 31st July out in Dallas, Georgia. But I just to address everything that was said today. I mean, honestly, I know myself, I'm a very passionate individual. So if it comes off as anything more than a passion, then I apologize for that to my brothers.
No, good, Poetix, man.
Poetix, you're good, man.
No, we
build it, brother. Ain't no apologies needed, man. We build it.
I ain't got no ego.
Let's build.
Nothing to me. I don't got no ego. I respect the brother in front of me. You know what I'm saying? But what I will say is this, like, when we start talking about building a nation, that nation got to be, and we are behind enemy lines in a lot of different ways. But that nation that's being built, it has to be built in a lot of different ways, strategic fashion, institutions. But it got to start off with a love and respect for one another. And that love and respect for another, whether it has to be taught or whether it just comes with you naturally, is something that we got to make a concerted effort to do. You know what I'm saying? Spread that, so we have that understanding of who we are, that love for who we are, that love for our identity. A lot of this is not physical. Right. We are having a physical experience. And I know a lot of us have gone through life and we've experienced our traumas, our triggers, all of these things. But this is a spiritual war, above and before anything. You know what I'm saying? And so that's how it turns out in the physical is one way. But I believe that all of us have the spirit in us to make that fight, to have that spiritual warfare and to win it.
Cool.
I'll give y'all one of the strategies of warfare that we could use and actually win. First, we have to identify us, the group that we're going to, our group, because without that, it's just going in the Black community. Everybody is all on our, we losing. The Lakers, everybody with a Laker jersey on at a Lakers game is not a Laker. A lot of them are just fans. So we got to identify the actual team that's going to play for the championship. Then when we wage war, it's not even, we don't have to really focus on our people, but we do have to lock them out in order for them to come in. Just like y'all said, y'all have a process, got to have a process. But the things we need to wage war on, it'll be like Walmart. We could wage war on Walmart produce aisle to where we say we're not going to eat any tomatoes from them, and we're going to try our best to get everybody within this geographical area to buy our tomatoes and not theirs. And we could do it product by product and start to utilize all the land that we do have. And once we start doing that, the brothers and sisters that's coming into it, they end up we start to create an economic base. And once you create the economic base, because the idle minds, the devil playground, right? We got to also give them work. When they start working in what we have going, then they're a part of what we doing in the nation that we build it. But we can't say nothing about, that's why I said, I ain't say nothing about dope dealers. Because if we can't give them an alternative, it don't matter if they stop.
But I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, brother. And we not too far off from what we both saying. My idea of it, my vision of what you're saying, it's like we don't have to worry about Walmart. We don't have to worry about anything. So, and let's play this scenario out. You know, with his allusion to the Rome and how it's built. If we, the brothers here, got our own land and created our own resources, we create the resources for the people who understand our ideology and our purpose here. We don't have to do anything with Walmart. All we have to do is, like you said, provide that alternative. You know what I'm saying? And if that's the case, I don't have to worry about any gangbanger out there, because the land that I have, the land that we have, the resources that we have are for our people. And that's the easy way of filtering them out, because our people are going to be with us. But that first takes securing the land, being able to control resources, being able to give them the food, land, shelter, what are the things you need to survive, and then being able to teach an ideology the same way we've been taught the other ideology. And for the people who understand and that ideology resonates with them, then they're here, they're living with us. We have our community, we have our people. And for the people who don't understand and who don't want to change their ways, they simply don't have access to our land or resources. That's how we separate nations. That's how we've always separated nations.
So when you say our people, what people?
Our people being the ones that identify with who we are and how we classify ourselves. I'm not putting anything in the stone. I do have a book out right now. It's called Spiritual Warfare, Inspiration of a Nation. If you want to check that out, I can send you a copy, because I go a little bit further into it. You know what I'm saying?
Good book too, man.
No, I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that. But I'm not here to put a label on it right now, but in terms of just the idea of being able to separate who we are and who we are not, is simply we build resources and build land for the people who resonate, for the brothers who understand what it is. There's an understanding we have. Everyone that's on this call is what's understood don't need to be said. We understand, like something go down, who we protecting. There's some people who don't have that understanding, and I don't have to ask them. I could tell. I can tell the person who for his people, who not for his people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just the energy. And that energy ain't gonna be able to resonate with us. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna be able to be in the same corner. You can't sit with us at the table. You can't be in these meetings. It's not, I don't have to, you know what I'm saying? Like they're gonna weed themselves out. But for the people who do, who does resonate with us, we got to just provide, like you said before, alternatives to every institution. Not that we have to go to war with the Walmart or go to war with the banking system, but we have our own system of value. We only have our own system of trade. We have our own system of government. But that ain't on nobody out there. That's on us. That's our responsibility. We put up a government. We put up a do's and do not, black code, black law, black rule. And if you don't abide it, then the same way that if you don't abide by America's rule, guess what? You don't abide by this nation's rule, there's consequences and repercussions. And that's power. And that's power.
I feel that. But at the same time, when we start saying we don't have to go, it's right. We don't have to go to war with them. But they're at war with us.
Right. But
there is no.
Yeah,
so
they are at war with us. I agree with you. But guess what? Their only power in this war is our dependency on them. The only reason why they're able to poison our food is because we keep eating their food. The only reason why they're able to poison our minds, and these are all the aspects of war that we're under. This war of attrition, this war of the mind. All of these things is only because we allow them into our gates. We have allowed them into our minds. And this is the craziest thing in the world. But one of my biggest pet peeves, and you know what I'm saying, I even hate that word, but one of my biggest things is when I see little kids, 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old, eating powder puffs, cheese puffs, Doritos, because that messes with the development of the mind. And when we start busting them into schools, that's how they get into our minds. So now when they don't see the value in themselves, it's because it's the devalue or the lack of value has already been implanted. But guess what? Only way we could cut that off is if we take them out the school system, take them out the grocery stores, take them out however far. And guess what? It's going to take some sacrifices, because that means we're going to have to stop being connected to their holidays. For all the people that want to go ahead and celebrate their holidays, I don't care whether it's July 4th or whether it's Memorial Day. It's still a Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? We got to get that part of our minds out. So it's really on us. You know what I'm saying? It's really on us, because we have to identify where our line is, and then who we are and what we are on the other side of that line. Me and you could discuss amongst our brothers, as long as we all know we ain't over there. And if you over there, you ain't over here. You know what I mean? And that
so now you said draw a line though.
Oh yeah, draw a line with ideology and principle. These niggas ain't got the same.
On that note, fellas, I got to get off. European building with y'all, man.
Hey brother,
I'm
let me throw in something. Hey brother, hey
Nikos.
Saturday, August the 14th, we gonna do our second annual Pan-African Caravan. I shoot you the flyer. You know what I mean? My number on the flyer. I hope you could be able to attend. You know, the brother Poetix, man. You know, let's get down. So I shoot you the flyer, man. I got your number. You know what I mean? I'm gonna shoot it to you as well, Poetix.
Oh man,
no doubt. It'd be our honor, man.
Drop your information.
Yeah,
man.
Drop it real quick.
Just follow the organization, man. If you want to learn more about what we do, what we're about, man, it's at the Royal Black Guard. On Instagram at the Royal Black Guard, or if you want to check us out on the internet, royalblackguard.org. Follow the organization, check us out, man. See what we're about. You can join, you can make a contribution. We're seeking support from our people. You know what we're about. If you want to see that built, support the Royal Black Guard.
A Black Guard.
Black
power, brother.
Power.
All right, brother.
Nikos, good looking out, family.
As a matter of fact, right there at the West End Mall, it was a group of brothers out there shooting dice, right? And I was at Bakari's. I went across the street to go holler at them. And I noticed that they were shooting dice with red, black, and green dice. And I asked them about the red, black, and green dice. And they said, and they basically said what it was for, and it's our color for our people and all that. I'm like, okay, I see where it's at. So the thing is that is there, and that group is prime for the capturing. This is chess. And if we don't capture minds, that we have to, because we are really capturing these minds, and we got to hold them. And once we start capturing these minds, each mind we capture is more ground we gain. Every street that we turn into an RBG street is a ground we gain, and that's ground they lose.
Right.
And when we start thinking of they as it's the red, white, and blue gangs, the American gangs that hate niggas.
Right.
You feel me? So that mindset of being American and hate black, of that self-hate with that same teaching that you was talking about, is really what we war against. The rappers that's talking about gun them up, kill niggas, that's enemy music.
Right.
No matter, yeah, they are people rapping it, but it's enemy music. And unless we call it that,
Right.
how do we treat it?
Right.
No,
We
you're
can
right.
embrace it?
You're 100% right. That's
Yeah.
the enemy music.
That
I'll
is.
take it a step further. You
They
know, the
getting
people.
paid to put out enemy music.
Right. You want to know the craziest thing that people don't think about when you're on a regular basis? The number one consumer of hip hop music and
White.
rap music is white people.
Yeah.
Yup, it's
When
not
they-
black people.
It's not
Yeah,
black
right,
people.
yeah.
The number one consumer of CDs, well, not CDs anymore, but when it was record sales and now these tickets to their concerts,
Yeah.
yeah,
White people.
I've heard several heard several interviews, and I've talked to certain people that have blown up a little bit, where they got a concert, a buzz. It might be in a stadium, or they might do the openings. 95% of their audience is white people.
Right. Yeah.
As a
Right.
matter of fact, Lil Baby is on YouTube right now. He has an interview. He said, "Yo, I stopped putting the word nigga in my song. I use hitter instead," because he'd had a stadium full of white people rapping his words, and he would have a stadium of white people saying nigga to him, and it would mess with him. So it's like, yeah, this music that's hurting us is being empowered by our enemy. They're
That's
the ones
the perfect
producing it
battle.
and paying it.
Yeah.
That's the perfect battle that we could all wage. That's
Right.
just to go to war. We'll put nigga in the music.
Right.
Just that.
But
And we
but-
should be able to applaud him for that. But my bad, brother. Go ahead.
But I will say this, Black Power Banger. There's a lot of brothers out there that know about the know about the red, black, green. I'm not just saying here in the West End area or even in Atlanta, Georgia. You know, I speak with a lot of brothers, man. A lot of brothers just stuck in their situation. You know, some of them do want to get out of it. You know, I tell brothers, I send people books all the time, man. I send brothers books. I just sent some brothers back home some books, man. You know, I was just back home with some family things going on. But yeah, I sent them brothers books, man, and a lot of them like, man, I really appreciate it. A lot of them was in prison because they was part of one organization. They couldn't really get into knowledge. I know two brothers right now. I sent them books back home. They hear about the knowledge, even in prison, because they was with another organization. They couldn't really go and get no information from them other brothers. So they heard about it and they remember it. And they see my posts on Instagram and Facebook. I didn't know a lot of people see my posts like that. When I go back home, people like, I be seeing your posts. I be checking you out, D.
Yes,
and you know, they ask me, you know, certain things like, you know, what's this, what's that? Or they'll just send me a Facebook Messenger. You know, and one brother, I know he heard me when I was talking with my other brother this past when I just left from back home. But he sent me a message on Facebook, man, you know, because he's part of something else. He said he didn't really want to say nothing in front of the people out there, whatever. But I sent him some books. I said, brother, no problem, man. I said, continue to, you know, study your divinity, your lineage, man. You important. You know, and a lot of times it be encouragement. You know what I'm saying? Us having the knowledge, we can't shit on everybody. But we still have to encourage our brothers and let them know, like, man, you can turn a corner whenever you ready. When you get ready, you know what I'm saying. You ain't got to go. You ain't got to go move like that. Go ahead, Ken.
And that's it. You know, just use our platform. See, I use my platform to put out information. You know what I'm saying? You that's what I use it for. You know what I mean? And I get the same thing. People at home here use the platform to put out, because somebody go see it, man, and it might have somebody exploring. Exploring, wondering what the hell he's talking about, what the hell he's saying. You know what I mean?
Right.
Me personally, like I'm not waiting for nobody to turn around the corner. For example, it's cut and dry. It's live, die. I get rid of all gray areas. When we get rid of gray areas, it forces us to really be about what we say we're about.
Gray area. It can't. You're right. It can't be no gray area.
Can't be no gray areas. Like any
black
man that don't take care.
At the same time, I mean cut you off, Black Power Banger. At the same time, ain't no gray areas, but let me ask you this. So I know you cut and dry, right? and the brother be like, man, you know, I really want to change, man. What can I do? So you're not gonna tell him how to change?
No, but see, but this the thing. What I was gonna say with this. Let's say that same brother don't take care of his children. I don't deal with it. We don't hang together. We ain't about going out the club. There is no buddy with me and him. I don't deal with that kind of person.
Right.
You feel me?
But
now,
you doing right. You're doing right by that by having a high authority. But I'm saying, if that brother come to you, would you not give him any type of good advice?
But see, but that's the thing. Now that he reaching out, that's different from saying F what y'all talking about and F them ops over there. You feel me? Because once you show adverse like you're adverse of what we're teaching, if you just not say nothing, you could get left alone as a potential ally. But once you are adverse to all that Black Power Malcolm X shit, you had just became an enemy. That's just like if we on a plantation and we about to run away. Is somebody that's willing to go tell massa, do you say that's our people, let them go and go tell, or do you just cut his throat?
No, my fault, go ahead.
Sure. Nah, just for edification, if anybody watching, we are at war, and look where we came from. Like Poe said and Ken touched on earlier, these gangs started as protection. Like the Crip. I just want y'all to know this. Community revolution in progress. That was the Crip.
Correct.
Brotherly love overrides our depression, or you could say it in like a slight other way. I heard there's another way. But these were protective groups that started out almost a subdivision of the Black Panthers.
It was.
No doubt.
And they also have
a rights lord, right?
What I'm trying
to rights lord, right?
What I think Rebel is making the point to, and I agree with, is that we separating the actual organization from the individual who may be misled. Because the organization in itself is what we're still doing today, creating organization and structure around our belief in protecting our people. Now that mindset that has plagued us.
The ideology is the enemy.
Say again?
The ideology is the enemy.
Oh, yeah, that is the biggest enemy, and its biggest I guess you could say, like, co-conspirator is the media. It's the ideology and the spread of media. But guess what? That's how they got our brothers out here willing to say, fuck them, fuck the ops. Because everything about the media says what? We need 100%. To be. So, and one thing I wanted to say before, when you was talking, and I kind of, at first I was kind of like, I didn't know what you meant when you was like, there's no gray area. And I'm like, nah, there's a lot of different variables that play into it. But I get what you're saying when you say no gray area, in the fact that, yo, if you not with it, then next, I'm not wasting my time with anybody who's not with it. And I've come to that conclusion. And I think we touched on it earlier about, for the people who we won't get, and one of the changes in my path and journey is when I came to the realization that we're not gonna get everybody. And then we're not even meant to get everybody, because just because you brown don't mean you down, and just because you skin folk don't mean you kin folk. But the understanding is the organization, which has the understanding of protecting, that's not the enemy. It's the corruption that has come because of the corruption of the mindset. And I feel like, just like you said, if you don't got the mindset, then you done. But if you are willing to learn, if you are willing, and I've been in this position, I've been away from the mic for a little bit. This last year, I know my brothers know I started a trucking company. So the whole motivation for starting a trucking company is so that I would be able to provide resources to people who didn't have any other type of opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, yo, I'm in this situation, I'm about to go, you know what I'm saying, sell drugs if I can't get no money to feed my daughter or buy Pampers. Those are the exact situations I'm in right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm able to give those opportunities, but that has to come with being able to go and build that for other people so that they can make that choice to not be a part of that environment. So they can have some type of optimism, so that they don't go straight to demon time every single time they get hungry. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, when you facing the back against the wall and you ain't got what you need, that's what happens. That demon time comes.
I
know what
had
I'm
a
saying?
job and I wasn't about dope dealing. It was about still destruction.
It's still, and you know, there's different ways to be destructive, but it all comes from that lack of opportunity, lack of support, lack of community, lack of opportunity.
Now it don't always come out of lack. We can't just say it's lack.
I mean,
sometimes,
I feel like
sometimes some children come out of abundance and they just want that. They want.
I mean, you talking about I don't know how to address that simply because I don't validate those who idolize the hood. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I don't validate.
I mean, no.
That.
I mean, I had homies
me.
that mom and daddy was in the house. They had him doing good things, and he still went to the hood. But
I don't know.
I want to mention this. You had said something about the media, right? I remember as a child growing up, and and I'm watching these older Crips and Bloods gather around the TV when the news was gonna come on, and they used to get a body count of Watts, South Central, and Compton, and all the neighboring cities. And these motherfuckers used to be happy that their body count was higher, that their murder rate was higher.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that's called psychological warfare, man.
Yeah, that's psychological warfare right there.
That's all it is.
I mean, they've been doing that for years. Just listen to the song. Master P, we the murder capital of the world and we body. I mean, that's been like that for years.
Philadelphia.
Man. We always celebrate our fucking death and destruction.
Right.
We the murder capital. But
that's
fuck is that, man? That shit ain't cool.
So now that's the war. The way the psychological warfare, that's part of it. So, and that's a major piece of it. And let me tell you right now, about 5 years from now, this show will catch fire and all of a sudden it's blazing. It's 10 years from now. You know what I mean? And then people be like, yeah, y'all did that show. We be somewhere else doing something else. It's still on what we own. But they be like, damn, y'all just now watching that? We did that this long ago. It may take that long. But what about the 125th Street? Why don't we create that same thing down here where we could just pull up bros out there speaking knowledge to whoever will listen? Where the cameras pull it up and people YouTube it.
We can do that, man. We can do that. Do it twice. Let's do it twice a month.
And me and Poe last year, and I was trying to get a bicycle like we did it on 4th of July. That was the only one we done. Israelites do it every weekend.
Israelites do it every weekend.
That's some of the things that we got to do.
And to be honest with you, and just speaking on that occasion itself, because I get what you're saying, and we was out there, Brother Abasi was out there, we had some people that Kojo and Knowledge out there, Tiffany was out, we had some people out there in the corner. I would say for me, I feel like we have to be able to provide some type of resource when we go out there. Because I don't really like the whole idea of just talking the talk and trying to preach and stuff like that. Nah, I want to be able to tell them like, yo, I got an opportunity for you. I got something we could do together. We got something we could build on to take you out. I literally had a dude come up to me and say, yo, I'd rather do that than be on the street. I'd rather go ahead and hop on the
Forget that there. Let's go to it. Let's go to the step 2 there. Let's get an RBG house.
That gotta come because he keeps saying
it. Yo, I'm with you. I'm always down to buy land and property.
Now check this with the RBG house.
I think we just can't talk about it. We got because we've been saying this for too long. We got to actually motherfucking do this.
And to be honest with you, I don't want to have that conversation on this platform.
Yeah. Man, even if we on this platform, man, we could still blast it to the world. Still gonna be on social media. The kitchen could cook for that community.
Right.
We pick a community. And they know that they gonna come here and we go to the city. We're gonna be getting block party permits and block off the street and throwing block party. That RBG house could become the center of the community.
You're right. And now they have
and that's what the Crips did.
About a compound, being able to house some of these youngins, because a lot of them sleeping on the trains and then sleeping in, you know what I'm saying? That's from first, like I seen it. I don't
I saw it too, man. It's crazy. Yeah, me and my wife, we I think it was me, my wife, and some other people, we made some sanitary bags. I think we even gave out food too, man. And it blew my mind, man. We was down by Grady Hospital by the old McDonald's. And a young guy, I thought it was an older guy. I heard him. I said, I got some food for you. I also got a sanitary bag for you, men bag, you know what I'm saying, for, personal hygiene, stuff like that. And when he turned over, I said, man, how old are you? He said, I'm 25. I said, 25.
Yeah, young,
Early.
right?
Man, I'm like, I'm like,
young out there, man.
I'm like, what happened? And he told me, he said, man, I can't leave that boy alone. So he on, I guess he on some type of drug or whatever, snorting or whatever. Yeah, but yeah, that was his issue though. Yeah, you know, that man was sleeping on the concrete, bro, in the middle of the daytime.
It's a lot on
blew my mind.
It's painful to watch sometimes, man. Painful
it
to
is.
watch. The only way we can do it is we gotta give him an alternative, like my brother said, like we all agree. We gotta give him an alternative. You know what I'm saying? We gotta be able to build something, put some structure together and it don't gotta be all built together at first. It could start with something little by little. It could start with, you know what I'm saying, a property. It could start with some land. It could start with, man, just a lookout. Like there's just ways how whatever pops into your mind, whatever comes onto your spirit, like, but there has to be a way to be able to give other people opportunities, because that's what was taken away from us. It was that opportunity to know who we are, the opportunity to build for ourselves. That's what was taken away from us. And you see it now. He said 25. Yeah. I mean, look, I had my stretches. I ain't gonna hold you. I had my stretches, but they for the most part was because of a journey I was on, I would have to say. You know what I'm saying? But that's still young. You know what I mean?
They real opportunity.
What'd you say, Rebel?
One more time?
Hold on, what'd you say, Rebel?
I said they real ops is opportunity.
Right.
I'm gonna keep it 100. So I just started pretty much my own AC business, going off on my own and not putting in the application. I was tempted. They was gonna give me 33 an hour. You know what I mean? And I told them 35, and then I was like, damn, maybe I should have took that 33. But I'm out here doing it, and I'm out here going company to company, and I was hollering at a brother that was in a position at one of these companies. I know another brother right now. He feeling like he about to be late on his rent. Didn't have no food. I just went and dropped some rice and some chicken and stuff off at his house. My wife put together a package for him. And I told this brother, I asked him, are you hiring? He said, yeah. Why, you know somebody? I said, yeah, I know somebody need a job. He's like, man, look, how much you looking for? Well, I can only give him like 20 something an hour. I'm like, shit, that'd be cool for him. He said, tell him to come up here tomorrow. I'll hire him tomorrow. I said, you know what? I said, we'll be up here Saturday. I was going to bring him on a job with me Saturday. And then he'd go up there, he could talk for himself and see if he can get that job. But see, this is the thing. There's so many of our people that's in positions across Atlanta. All we have to do is just become the network. Right. Kimbrough, Dennis Kimbrough said, our net worth is reflective of our network. And Ms. Ann Wilson said, it's not the fact that we argue, as long as we argue fair. And Booker T. Washington said, cast down your buckets where you are. So if we put all three of those together, that's like a formula. That's like the perfect chemistry.
That's one of the things, the representation of power right there that we was talking about. And I know it's getting a little late. I just want to drop this one last thing. You said it though. Man. The ability, the difference between you going accepting $35 an hour and the difference between that and you starting your own company, where you're going to have to take some, if you start your own AC thing, if you do, you're going to take some bumps and bruises, you're going to go through the trials and tribulations. But the difference between that is now that puts you in a position of power. You get to make those calls. You get to be able to put people in those positions. You can go drop chicken off and rice off at your guy crib, you know what I'm saying? And you could get to look out. Nepotism is a real thing, and we all should be doing it. We should be looking out for ourselves. We should be looking out for our people. We should be able to, the people who have, I got a driver right now, and I shout out to my man, Kaylin's story. He from the West End, you know what I'm saying? From the West End. He used to work at Tastilli's restaurant. My man, he put in work. That man motivated. The company we running right now would not be where it's at without the dedication from him. And he brought another guy from the community, you know what I'm saying? Where other people, you might want to put up an app on Indeed, or you might want to, you know what I'm saying, go to a temp agency or something like that. But the abilities for your people, for you to reach out, give your people opportunity, then for your people to go and seize every single opportunity, that right there, that's how you build that connection. You know what I'm saying? You build that's a structure right there. You know what I mean? And that's a representation of power. But I'm gonna have to get off now, brothers. We gotta do it again.
Poe,
You got
All right, I'll see you tomorrow, Poetics.
hold on.
Hey man, y'all can't be coming here with all this fire
Nah,
leaving
we
like
got
that, man. Y'all gotta come back. Y'all
Banger,
gotta
Nah,
come back.
definitely. We have been
got
earlier,
more
you know
to
what I'm
come.
saying?
Yo, Poe, before you go, tell us about the trucking company.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. So we got we started the trucking company last year. We coming up on a year. Matter of fact, our anniversary is next week, a year anniversary. We started it. We came into the gate stumbling, you know what I'm saying? Bumping our heads and everything. But we were able to get on a nice little roll. We brought in some drivers. The team works well together. So we got 2 trucks on the road right now. We have an MC leasing program, which we have the opportunity for other drivers who don't necessarily have the authority, but if they can get a hold of a truck through either a rental, if you have your own truck, we will get you on the road. We'll dispatch you using our MC. So that's like an MC leasing program. We also hiring dispatchers, and again, like this is the idea behind the whole business. So one of my man's close friend of mine, you know what I'm saying? This is my man from up top. When I lived up north, he moved down here. Right, he had a job, had a little situation, but he ended up getting into a car accident. He got into a car accident and broke his leg, and he couldn't work no more. You know what I'm saying? And he wasn't at the job long enough to get any type of disability. So I was able to like teach him how to dispatch, and then I had him dispatching for the other drivers and my drivers, so he was able to make money off of that. And that's, you know what I'm saying? And I don't say that on no like big up type thing, but that's what we supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? That's the blueprint. You know what I'm saying? That's the blueprint. You build it up and then break it down. You know what I'm saying? So that right there, that's been big for the company. But it's Rebel Trucking, man. We do over the haul.
Rebel Trucking.
Rebel Trucking, yeah, no doubt. It's Rebel Trucking LLC. It's growing, and you know that's what we here for, man. Provide opportunities to our people.
Nah, man, good looking out, man. The Royal Black Guard, man, we respect that. I saw y'all at the last event. Y'all look like some real Black Power brothers, man. I felt that energy when y'all walked by, same as mine.
Appreciate that, fam. Appreciate that.
I got some
it's brick on brick, bro. That's the motto right now. Brick on brick.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
Give out your info before you go, because y'all coming back, man. Because we
No doubt.
need y'all to come back, man.
We'll be on, and this is the brotherhood. This is you already know we all over here. We like-minded. You know what I'm saying? This is family right here. Knowledge. I'm gonna pop up on you tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Pull up, check out the spot. Rebel, you already know we're gonna be in contact. We're gonna be in touch. And my man Black Power Banger, it's been a pleasure, brother. I appreciate your energy, your
Where you go?
inspiration. You know what I'm saying? The work that you put in, man. So for everybody, just check me out on Instagram _Poetix _POETIX, and check out the Royal Black Guard on Instagram as well. RoyalBlackGuard.org. That's the website. Check us out. We here.
Where we could get your book?
The book, that's gonna have to be if you contact me through my page, that's gonna have to be a personal request. Right now we're selling them just hand to hand. You know what I'm saying? Handshake, eye contact only. It's just the energy thing. You know what I mean? You're selling the hand to hand.
Who need it gonna get it?
No doubt. There's a lot more to come, man. Like I said, I took about 9 months off from the platform. You know what I'm saying? From the Rebel X platform, from the Poetics, from the stage. But it was all with purpose. So now we marching right back into it. I mentioned earlier we got a show coming up on July 31st. That's this Sunday. That's gonna be out in Dallas, Georgia. We're gonna be out there. I think by the time this airs, it'll be already past. But you know what I'm saying? We have the show on July 31st. And so we getting back on the stage. And as we told before, man, we just gotta reach. We gotta see. I mean, we could reach. As a poet, that's how I reach them. You know what I'm saying? That's how I do it, through the spoken word, the power of the spoken word.
Yeah. Powerful spoken word artist, y'all. Yo, Poetics got some power. Check them out. But Poe, you already know, King. You're looking out, family.
Appreciate you.
All day, anything you need, man, we here.
I got you, brother. We'll be in touch.
All right, family.
All right.
Us. That's what's up. Rebel Trucking. I might have to tell people now I don't own that one. But that's what's up. Nah, powerful talk.
Yeah, powerful bill, man. Powerful bill.
Them brothers are some strong brothers. They mean what they saying.
Yeah. Very, very serious, man. That's how it's supposed to be.
So,
Especially when it comes to our divinity and our lineage.
yeah, I know we need
Very serious, man.
We got to get more defense on our core presence. We need more people to wake up, man. It's not looking good. That's why everybody say, yo, everybody ain't gonna make it. I've been here long enough to know that statement used to be a minority statement.
Right.
You might only hear one or two people say that. Now, to me, it's 90%.
Right.
Who really drop science say that. So I'm like, damn, I think we recognizing the real level of the damage. You know?
We are, even some of the ones on the street, man. But I mean, it is what it is at this particular point in time. We just got to keep moving with the plan that we have at hand, and keep making the right moves, and keep filling out the energy of what we're doing, and just be about their business. Everybody ain't gonna make it. It's cool. I get it. In a nation, a lot of people everyone don't make it when it's pertaining to a particular cause. So we just got to keep doing what we're doing and making sure that we uphold our standard and what's important to us about our divinity and our lineage. And that's pretty much it.
Got to be the change you want to see, people.
Got to be the change you want to see. Definitely.
Yeah, give out your info.
Yo, y'all can check me out, man. Knowledge Born 7, Aesthetics Apparel, ESTHETIKS Apparel. That's my own brand. You can also check out the custom t-shirt shop, Elite Wardrobe Shop, ELITE Wardrobe Shop on Facebook and Instagram.
Yes, sir. And y'all already know Rebel with a Cause, Rebel Vision Television, rebelvision.com. We got the new shows coming out for y'all. Queen's Law, that'll be here real, what's that, August? I think August 1st, August 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
So Queen's Law gonna drop. And we hope to bring the game from the perspective of the gods, the real gods, the black woman. And we just growing. Rebel Vision Television. Like, share, subscribe, do all that. You know the white man in YouTube blocking this. So help us out, yo. Make a fake page and then come to our page and follow that just to give us another one. Help us out, but it's all good, man. Knowledge, you already know, King. Good looking out.
Peace, man. Peace.
And we back. Another episode of Rebels Roundtable, man. We out of here, yo. Black motherfucking power. Us.
Peace.
I got the mind of a king. You should really protect them. Everybody talking, but Rebel really the next. I got the mind of a king. Spread to never take this. Slavery, fake hip hop, you dead if you were racist. I got the mind of a king. You could never replace this. Blood from the mud, no love, so I'ma say I got the mind of a king. I know where I am from now. I'ma wake 'em up, you keep 'em sleep, it's up to me. I got the mind of a king.